Hey there, future scientists! Ready to dive into some awesome hands-on science activities? I'm so excited to be here with you today because we're about to unlock the mysteries of the universe, one experiment at a time. Today, we're exploring cells, genetics, and ecosystems with 5 super fun experiments. So put on your thinking caps, grab your lab coats, and let's get started. Alright, science fans, let's kick things off by diving into the amazing world of cells. Cells are the basic building blocks of all living things, and today, we're going to build our very own cell models. Think of it as creating a 3D map of a tiny universe. First things first, you get to choose. Are you building a plant cell or an animal cell? Both are equally awesome and have some key differences. Plant cells have a rigid cell wall, while animal cells don't. Now, let's gather our building materials. You can use clay, Play-Doh, or even a plastic container to shape the cell membrane. The cell membrane is like the gatekeeper of the cell, controlling what goes in and out. Next up, we need to create the organelles, the little organs inside the cell that carry out specific functions. You can use all sorts of cool stuff for this: pipe cleaners, beads, yarn, buttons. Let your creativity run wild. Remember the nucleus, the control center of the cell that houses DNA? Make sure to give it a prominent place in your model. And don't forget about the mighty mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell that provide energy. Once you've assembled all your organelles, arrange them inside your cell and label each one. Now for the grand finale, present your amazing cell model to someone and explain the function of each part. You'll be a cell expert in no time. Get ready to unlock the secrets hidden within your DNA. Genetics is the study of heredity, how traits are passed down from one generation to the next. And guess what? You're a walking, talking example of genetics in action. In this experiment, we're going on a family trait expedition. Grab a notebook and pen because it's time to channel your inner detective. First, make a list of observable traits. Things like eye color, hair color, earlobe attachment, whether they're attached or detached, and the ability to roll your tongue. Now, it's interview time. Ask your family members about their traits and jot down the results. You'll start to notice some fascinating patterns emerging. Some traits are dominant, meaning they're more likely to show up, while others are recessive, meaning they're less likely to be expressed. Once you've gathered your data, compare the results and see if you can identify any patterns of inheritance. Do certain traits tend to run in your family? Are there any surprises? This is a great opportunity to discuss your findings with your family and learn more about your genetic heritage. Chapter 3. Create a mini ecosystem. Ever wondered how ecosystems work? They're like intricate webs of life with all sorts of organisms interacting with each other and their environment. And the coolest part is, you can create your very own mini ecosystem right at home. Grab a large glass jar or container. This will be your terrarium, a self-contained world for your plants to thrive. Start by adding a layer of pebbles or gravel at the bottom for drainage. This will prevent the roots of your plants from becoming waterlogged. Next, sprinkle a thin layer of activated charcoal on top of the pebbles. Activated charcoal acts like a filter, keeping your terrarium fresh and clean. Now, it's time for the star of the show, the soil. Add a layer of potting soil on top of the charcoal. Get your green thumbs ready. Choose small, slow-growing plants that will thrive in a humid environment. Gently plant them in the soil, making sure their roots are well covered. Give your terrarium a light misting of water, just enough to moisten the soil without making it soggy. Seal your terrarium with a lid or plastic wrap and place it in a bright spot, but out of direct sunlight. Now the magic begins. Observe your terrarium over the next few days and weeks. You'll notice how moisture cycles inside, evaporating from the soil and plants, and then condensing on the sides of the glass. If you want to take your terrarium to the next level, consider adding some small creatures like isopods or springtails. These little decomposers will help break down organic matter and keep your ecosystem balanced. Just make sure any creatures you add are compatible with the plants and environment you've created. Chapter 4. DNA extraction from fruits. DNA. It's the blueprint of life, containing all the instructions that make you, you. And guess what? You can extract real DNA from everyday fruits using some simple household ingredients. Grab a banana or some strawberries. These fruits are packed with DNA and easy to mash up. Put your fruit into a Ziploc bag and seal it tightly. Now here comes the fun part. Squish, smash, and mash that fruit until it's a smooth puree. Add a pinch of salt and a small amount of water to your fruit mush and mix it all up. The salt helps break down cell walls and release the DNA. Next, add a squirt of dish soap to the mixture. Dish soap helps break down cell membranes, releasing the DNA even further. Now it's time to separate the DNA from the rest of the cell goop. Place a coffee filter over a glass or jar and carefully pour your mixture into the filter. The liquid that drips through the filter contains the precious DNA. Here comes the really cool part. Slowly pour cold rubbing alcohol down the side of the glass, being careful not to mix it with the fruit liquid. You'll notice that the DNA will start to precipitate out of the solution, forming white, stringy clumps. That's right, you're looking at real DNA. Chapter 5. Observing microorganisms in pond water. Prepare to enter the invisible world of microorganisms. Microscopic organisms are everywhere, even in a seemingly ordinary drop of pond water. Let's grab our detective hats and magnifying glasses and see what we can find. First, we need to collect a sample of pond water. Find a nearby pond or lake and carefully collect a small amount of water in a jar or container. Bring your sample back home and let it sit undisturbed for a few hours. This will allow any tiny organisms in the water to become more visible. Now, for the exciting part, use a dropper to carefully place a small amount of pond water onto a glass slide. If you have a microscope, that's even better. Place the slide under the microscope and adjust the magnification until you can see the microscopic world come to life. You might be amazed by the diversity of life you observe. Look for tiny moving creatures like paramecia, which resemble microscopic footballs zipping around. You might also spot algae, which can range in color from green to brown to red. And if you're lucky, you might even catch a glimpse of an amoeba, a shape-shifting blob that moves by extending pseudopods or false feet. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining us on this scientific adventure. I hope you had a blast conducting these experiments and unlocking the wonders of science. Remember, science is everywhere, from the tiniest cells to the vast ecosystems that surround us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting science experiments. Keep exploring and see you next time.